Hello everyone, welcome to another session of structural analysis 2. So in the previous class we have taken this problem particularly, wherein we have a non-sway frame. The non-sway frame, the frame which does not sink or which does not move due to external load is said to be non-sway frame. This is the frame we have taken in the previous class, isn't it? So the static indeterminacy of this structure was 2. How we got this 2? We all know, that is, we have 3 unknown reaction at this location and 2 unknown reactions at this hinge support. So totally we have 3 plus 2, 5 unknown reactions, and equilibrium equations we have totally 3. So 5 minus 3 will be equal to 2. So totally the static indeterminacy of this structure is 2 now, and accordingly whenever you get static indeterminacy as 2, then the size of the matrix will be 2 by 2. The size of flexibility matrix will be 2 by 2. This is how we got the size of flexibility matrix as 2 by 2. Okay, now in today's problem we'll take up another problem wherein the static indeterminacy of the structure will be 3. So this is the next level problem. All the problems in the previous classes we have taken all the problems where the static indeterminacy of the structure was only 2 now. Now from here onwards we'll be having static indeterminacy of the structure as 3 now, and accordingly we'll be having the size of the flexibility matrix will be 3 by 3 now. So you can see the question: analyze the rigid jointed frame using flexibility matrix method and draw a bending moment diagram. Take EI as constant. In the previous problem 2 EI was given, isn't it? 2 EI was given in the question, or EI was given in the question, but here in this particular problem EI for all the members we have to take it as constant, or EI should be taken as constant. Okay, so for the member AB EI will be only 1 EI. Similarly for span BC EI will be again 1 EI, and for span CD also my Young modulus of elasticity will be 1 EI only. So 1 1 and this also 1. Okay, so first of all, before solving the problem we have to calculate what is the static indeterminacy of the structure. To calculate the static indeterminacy of the structure, see here, this is fixed support. At A it is fixed support, so we all know at fixed support we have 3 unknown reactions. Similarly at joint D we have again 3 unknown reactions, that is 3 plus 3 will be equal to 6. Okay, so 6 minus equilibrium equations are 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3. So this 3 indicates that we have totally the size of the matrix will be 3 by 3, and we have to remove 3 unknown reactions from the figure or from the frame. So what we have done here, see in the M diagram I have removed this part, that is I have removed these 3 unknown reactions from here, that is one is vertical reaction, another one is horizontal reaction, and even the moment. Okay, in every fixed support will be having 3 unknown reactions, that is one will be in vertical direction, another will be in horizontal direction, and one will be a moment, isn't it? So moment is removed totally from joint D, 2 vertical and horizontal reactions, and along with that we have removed one moment also. So once you remove this one, it will look like a normal point here. Okay, it is like a cantilever portion now. So what we are doing here, all the external loads we are placing it here as it is. See, the span BC is loaded with a uniformly distributed load with of an intensity 3 kilonewton per meter. Okay, and CD is does not have any vertical or horizontal load, and even span AB does not have any vertical and horizontal load. Okay, so section 11 we will take section 11 at a distance x from point D. So that means my origin for section 11 will be D, and limit is 0 to 5. What is the span of CD? 5 meters. So I'll take you to the table. You can see here my region is CD here, and origin is D, and limit is 0 to 5, and EI is EI constant we have to take. Alright, limit is 0 to 5 we have taken. So till this part we have completed. Now we'll go for the span BC. So you can see here my span BC, this is the span BC, and I have taken section at a distance C from point at a distance x from point C. So this is my section 2 and it is at a distance x from point C. So C is my origin. So you can see here BC, C is origin and limit is 0 to 12. How we got 0 to 12? 0 to 12 we got it because of the span BC. The span BC is how much? The span of the BC is 12 meters. So that is why my limit will be 0 to 12. From here 0 to 12. Alright. Next we'll go for another span, that is AB. Span AB, you can see this one, span AB. My origin is B. Why origin is B? You can see here I have taken my x section 3 at a distance x from point B now. Alright, so this is section 3 and limit is again 0 to 5. And EI is also constant for all the members. EI is constant for span AB, BC and CD. Now we'll calculate moments at each and every section now. How to calculate that? See here, simply first point, this is the point, right? So where is the free end? Where is the free end of the beam? Free end is from the right side, isn't it, from point D? So you can see here, do we have any load here from this region? This is my point. So do we have any load, horizontal or vertical load at joint D? No load, isn't it? So what happens to the moment? Force into perpendicular distance. If force is 0, so moment will be also equal to 0. This is how we got force is equal to 0. Then next is joint BC, member BC. If you see the member BC, we have section 2. So if you see this part, 3 into x is the load into 3 by 2. Okay, so what happens here? It will be, see, 3 into 1.5, 3 into x is the load into x by 2 will be equal to minus 1.5 x square. Since it is going in clockwise direction, we will take minus. Clockwise from right side, it will be negative. Clockwise from right side will be negative. Clockwise from left side will be positive. Always remember, these are the things which you have to very carefully understand. Clockwise from right side will be negative. So minus 1.5 x square we got. Similarly, we'll go for the section 3. If you see the section 3, my section 3 is here. So I have to calculate moment at this location now, at this particular location. So how to calculate that? See here, you see on the right side of the beam, you have a UDL of intensity 3 kilonewton per meter. So 3 into 12 is the load into 12 by 2. So see here, 3 into 12 by 2 is the 3 into 12 is the load into 12 by 2. 12 3s are 36. 36 into 12 by 2, that is 6. 36 into 6 will be equal to minus 216. Okay, so this is how we calculated this one. So minus 1.5 x square is over and minus 216 is over. Now we'll move to the next diagram, that is M1 diagram. So if you see the figure M1 diagram here, the sections will remain at the same place. Section 1 will be at the same place, section 2 will also be on the same place, and even the section 3 will be on the same place. But the only changes in this frame will be the loading. The loading, we have whatever the external loads we have applied will be completely removed from the frame, whereas we apply only 1 kilo, that is unit load in x direction, that is HA. So since as I've told you before that we have totally 3 unknown reactions, so one by one will be applying all the loads. So HA, either you can apply in this direction or either you can apply in this direction, it's up to you, but I have applied in this direction. Okay, HA is equal to 1 kilonewton. So my sections are on the same place, section 1 1 2 2 3 3, even the distances are also on the same place. There is no changes in the distance also, the only thing is 1 kilonewton. Now by considering this 1 kilonewton, what we will do, we'll calculate moment at each locations, each section. So at this section I will calculate moment. See here, at the right side it is going in anti-clockwise direction. So anti-clockwise direction means plus 1 into x. See here, 1 into x. You got it? Right. Next, we'll go for this section 2. We'll calculate moment at this section. So you can see here, my force is going in exactly in again anti-clockwise direction, but perpendicular distance is 5 meters. So 1 into 5. It is going in anti-clockwise direction, but it is on the right side, so it will be plus 1 into 5. See here, plus 1 into 5. Understood? Next is we have this section, that is section 3.3. You can see here, this is the section 3.3. Now I will calculate moment at this location. See here, line of action of force is passing at this location, isn't it? So force into perpendicular distance. Again, force is going in anti-clockwise direction. Perpendicular distance is 5 minus x, isn't it? This total distance is 5 minus x will give you this distance, right? I want this distance. So perpendicular distance. Total is 5. Span AB is 5 minus x. So see here in the figure, in the table, 5 minus 6. Okay, 1 into 5 minus x is 5 minus x only. Okay, so this is how we got this 5 minus x. Now we'll go for M2 diagram. So in case of M2 diagram, so in the next diagram, what we do here is all the sections again will remain on the same place. Section 1, 1, 2, 2 and 3, 3 will also remain on the same place, but the only change here will be the vertical loading. In the previous case, we have applied horizontal load. Now in this case, we'll be applying vertical load now. 1 kilonewton, which is going exactly in the towards the member CD. Okay, so now you will calculate moment at this point. So if you calculate moment at this location, so see here, VA, that is 1 kilonewton, is passing through the point. Okay, so what happens when the force is passing through the point? Moment will be equal to 0, isn't it? So this is how we got moment is equal to 0 for M2 diagram. Okay, now next is we have this one, this section 2 2. See here, section force 1 kilonewton is passing in anti-clockwise direction, and it is on the right side, and perpendicular distance is x. So 1 into x, you see here, plus 1 into x. Similarly, if you see this figure, if you see this section, force is going again in anti-clockwise direction, and force into perpendicular distance. Perpendicular distance is 12, so we got this as 12. So once you solve the problem till here, once the problem is solved till here, no, the entire solution will be correct. Once you solve this one very carefully till here, then the problem will be very easy for us. Now since we have three unknowns, we'll be having M3 diagram also. You can see here, this is my M3 diagram. In M3 diagram, what I have done here, again the sections will remain on the same place, sections distances will also be on the same place, only the thing which will change is moment. See here, in the previous case we have applied horizontal load, second case we have applied vertical load, in the third case we are applying clockwise moment or clockwise couple. Okay, so here I am applying a moment here in clockwise direction. So what we will do here, always whenever you apply couple or moment, couple does not have, I mean moment does not have any effect when couple is acting on the beam, right? Sorry, shear force does not have any effect when couple is acting on the beam, whereas whenever we have an extra moment developed at any location, then that particular moment should be taken in the moment calculation, isn't it? So whatever the moment which is developed over here, since it is clockwise moment, so what we will do at every location, that is section 1 1, section 2 2 and section 3 3, will take 1 kilonewton meter as extra loading over there, and we'll take it as minus 1 minus 1 minus 1. Why minus 1? Because since it is going in clockwise direction and all the movements are on the right side of the beam, that is why minus 1. Okay, so once we have got M1, M2 and M3, so we'll go for this one. I'll try to enlarge this one so that it will be easily visible for us. So now you can see here in this one we have calculated M1, M2, M3. Now we'll go for this capital M1. This table you have to remember very carefully. Once you remember the table very carefully, this particular part will be taken care by your calculator only. So how to take this one? See here, since it is the static indeterminacy of the structure is 3, so that is why we have M1, M2 and M3. Similarly, we'll be having M1, MM2 and MM3. Okay. Next is m1 square by ei, m2 square by ei, m3 square by ei. In the previous problem, we were having only m1 square by ei and m2 square by ei. Here, one more addition is here, that is mm3 and m3 square. Okay. Similarly, we have integral m1 m2 by ei. Integral m1 m2 by ei only was there in the previous case, but here we have m1 m2, then m2 m3, then m3 m1. Okay. So this is the extra, add on in 3 by 3 matrix. And according to the syllabus, we have static indeterminacy should not exceed more than 3. So this is the last problem. I mean, this problem is one of the most typical problem wherein we have, three static indeterminacy. Three static indeterminacy of the structure is 3. So accordingly, we'll try to multiply and take the integration of this values, that is m1. You can see here m1, 0 into something will be 0. Similarly, mm2, 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 0 into something is again 0. mm3 is again 0 into something will be 0. So entire first row will become 0. Similarly, we'll go for the next row, that is mm1 minus 1.5 into 5 will give you, integrated with the limit is 0 to 12, you will get minus 4320 by ei. Similarly, MM2, that is capital M and M2, will give you minus 776 by EI. Similarly, M3 will give you 864 by EI. So accordingly, the limit should be applied very carefully, that is 0 to 12 or 0 to 5, whatever may be the limits to be applied very carefully. Okay, and multiplication to be done in a very simplified manner to get the correct answers. Similarly, we'll go for M3 now. See here M3 minus 216 into 1 into minus 1 will give you, minus plus 216. Integrated limit is 0 to 5. You will get these values, that is minus 2700, then minus 212960180. Then in the next case we'll be having m1 square. So m1 square is integral x square by ei, and limit is 0 to 5. You'll get 41.67 by ei. Okay. Now similarly, you have next is m2 square, right? M2 square by ei is integral, this is 0, so again m2 square is 0. Similarly, m3 minus 1, m3 integral minus 1, limit is 0 to 5, you will get 5 by ei. Accordingly, you will get these values, that is 4320 by ei, 7760, sorry, 300 by ei, then 576 by ei, then 12 by ei. All these values we can compute with the help of our calculator. So limit should be applied very carefully. Okay. Then we have these values, that is m1 square, m2 square. So this one m1 square is 5 minus 6 whole square. Limit is 0 to 5. Integrated, you will get this value, that is 720 by a. Similarly, you will get 41.67 by a. Similarly, you will get 720 by a. Then again 5 by ei. Then m1, m2. These are the things very carefully you have to take. That is m1, m2 separately, m2, m3 separately, and m3, m1 separately. Okay. Gradually, you have to take all the values m1, m2, m3, m3, m1, and then accordingly you do the integration of all individual figures or individual moments. You'll get these values. Once you get all the values, summation of all these values to be taken care by here. Okay, in this tabular form. So my final value will be, if it is minus minus, summation is important. If it is minus plus, do the summation. Okay, if it is plus plus, add it. If it is minus minus, whatever you get the value, you take down that. Okay, so you get all these values with the help, and denominator it should be ei all the time. Okay. Next we'll go for the another calculation part, that is this one. So again, this one is again very important, this matrix. So how to take down this one? You see here m1 square, m1 m2, m1 m3. Okay, then m2 m1, m2 square, m3 m2 m3, m3 m1, m3 m2, and m3 square. So this is very important. All the diagonals should be these diagonals. Whatever the diagonals we have should be m1 square, m2 square, and m3 square. These are the diagonals to be taken care by like this. Then again, since it is in first row and second column, so that is why it is m1 m2. Again here you can see here it is in first row and third column, so m1 m3. Now here m2 m1, why? Because it is in second row and first column, so m3 m1, then m2 square, then again m2 m3. Why be m2 m3? Because it is in second row and third column. Okay, then similarly m3 m1, m3 m2 and m3 square. Very carefully you have to take down all these values. Delta L should be taken up here, that is m1 m2 m3. Now once you substitute all the values here, just to do the inverse of the matrix and multiply with these values. So it is 7020, right? So we got these values as 7020 in minus, but if you do delta minus delta L, delta minus delta L, this is my delta L, so all the values were in negative, so all these values will become positive. Minus into minus will get positive. So multiply this one, you will get the value of hd, vd and m. So here we got the value of hd as minus 8.9, vd as 18 and moment as minus 14.89. That means here whatever the direction we have assumed for hd, that is we have assumed in right direction, that is not in right direction but it is in left side direction. Similarly, moment we have taken up in clockwise direction, but according to the problem or according to the loading, the moment is not in clockwise direction, but it is in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, this is how we calculate all our moments using flexibility matrix method. Okay, it is very important problem since it has a 3 by 3 matrix, so it is a bit important problem for us. All right, and here let me show you this one, which is very important. So these sections are very important, you know these sections to be taken care very carefully. That is, always remember, always try to take the sections or origins to the free end. See here, I have removed this one, right? I have removed this one, you can see here I have removed this part, right? So always try to take the sections towards the free end. If I am taking section 1 1, I will not take the distance x from this point, I'll take the distance from the free end, so that my calculation will become simplified. Similarly, section 2 2 is here, I will not take my origin as till from point B, I'll take my origin from point C. Wherever my free end is there, I'll take the origin from that side, so that my calculation will be easy for me. Similarly, the same thing will be doing in the third section, that is, I will not take my section from here. Otherwise, if I take my section from here, my calculation part will become lengthy. That is why we always try to take the section towards the free end. Always the section to be taken towards the free end of the beam, always to the free end of the beam, so that my calculation and all the movements will be simplified for us. Because if we take the origin from the left side of the section, that is, if my distance will become 5 minus x or 12 minus x, then the integration part will become a problem. Along with that, my simplification will become lengthier. So that is why always remember, try to take the section towards the free end of the beam, whereas towards the fixed end of the beam. All right, this is one important point in this particular problem. Along with that, this EI, the modulus of elasticity of this particular beam, is entirely EI for all the members. Member AB, for columns also it is EI, and for a horizontal member, that is BC, is also EI and EI, and in some many cases EI will be completely different for each and every member. But here in this problem, EI is same. That is why in our entire tabular form we have taken EI as constant values. So once there is a change in these values, 2EI or 3EI, my entire integration part will also become completely different. That is, my EI will become m1 by EI into 2. Okay, in the denominator you have to write 2 here. And even along the sections, even here also, since the EI will go in denominator, once you do the inverse of a matrix, it will go in numerator, and this M1, the delta L values will become in denominator. So what happens here? Numerator and denominator, EI will get cancelled. So finally we'll get the constant values, that is minus 8.918 and minus 14.89. All right. So this is how we calculate our unknown forces or unknown reactions using flexibility matrix method. All right.